Yeah, it wouldn't be a stream from a holiday without one of them dropping out. But thank you to those that are still tuning in and joining the new stream. Yeah, like I said, there's the odd moment where it just has a lag spike and it all just cuts out. So it's the first time this happened. Usually it runs quite smoothly, but hopefully this stream, the rest of this stream, and potentially the UCL Fantasy Deadline stream on Tuesday is all good as well. But let's get back into your questions. If you had something before, I do apologize, but we have to go through this again. Yeah, Alex says take two. That's one way of putting it. We back. So yeah, appreciate you lot tuning in. Zenzone as well. Yeah, no, don't worry. Don't worry. There's still a little bit left. 29 minutes or so. 28 minutes now. Back again. Thank you very much. Glad you're back. Should I bring in Son for Maddison or Saka? I think it ultimately depends on your 34 plan. So if you're free hitting in 34, then I'd probably sell Saka. But if you aren't free hitting, I'd sell Maddison. Do I sell Foden? If possible, I wouldn't. I'd probably just bench him. Foden is benched. He is on the bench. He's not completely out of the squad, but he's on the bench. Foden's on the bench today, by the way. Yep, I know that. We covered that in the previous stream, which unfortunately was a little cut short. Also thoughts on swapping a doggy to 8 Nuri for the next couple of game weeks. It's a great transfer overall, but I'm just thinking maybe you could keep a doggy for this week and sell him next week. But yeah, that's fine. Start Pau Torres or Doughty? I'd start Pau Torres. Wasif says, I want to sell Tony for a cheaper forward so that I can go for Gross to someone else. I already have Solanke and Cunha. Right, okay. I probably would go for Mateta in that case, but buying him now is a bit awkward because it's Man City, then Liverpool. I had the fresh trim like last week, to be fair. I think it was, yeah, last week. Yeah, over a week ago now. Start Gomez or Zabani? Probably Gomez. Not expecting either to keep a clean sheet, though. Oh, yeah, Jameer puts his team, which we weren't able to get through last time. So no transfers and only triple captain. Long-term plans. No transfers. Right, so any transfer now would be a -4 hit. I don't think I'd take a hit now. I think you keep things as they are. I know Foden's bench. That's not ideal. 0.2 million in the bank. Yeah, it's going to be quite difficult, I think, to maneuver things. But I think in the next couple of weeks, yeah, you've got a bit of a tricky one because with no chips left apart from the triple captaincy, you'd want Romero from Gameweek 35 onwards, but of course he blanks in 34. Tricky one. I think I'd still sell one of Kabore or Doughty. If possible, I'd sell Kabore. You could even go to a Branthwaite, for example. So that's one transfer I'd make. I'd also look to buy 8 Nuri for Doughty. If you have enough money for that, that'd be great. In Gameweek 34, I'd sell Bowen, and I'd probably go to an Eze. That's something else I'd look at. Your forward line is fine, but of course, having Salah and Haaland does leave you with not much maneuver. Not room to maneuver because you have 0.2 million in the bank. But I think your defense is the biggest area to improve, and your goalkeeper. But yeah, I'd probably focus on the defense first and sell Kabore and Doughty in the coming weeks, Nuri and Branthwaite. That's what I'd start off with. And then in the midfield, you could make a transfer. You could even sell Foden at some stage and bring him back around 35 or 36. But yeah, I think I'd sell Bowen in 34 to Eze, maybe even Diaz if you have funds. And I'd also look to sell Doughty and Kabore. Bench Foden or Garnacho? I'd probably bench Foden in this case. I wanted to put a poll out, but it just doesn't let me. As soon as I try and make a poll, it literally caused the stream to cut out, which is a bit annoying, to be honest. But it is what it is. Hopefully I can start a poll from here and no lag will ensue. We have almost 100 people watching in this new stream. I do appreciate that. If possible, I know it's a big ask, but let's try to get this stream to 100 likes, just like the first one. It'd be massively appreciated, and it goes a long way to supporting the channel. Let's see if I can start this. Who would you bench? Okay, yeah, I think I can start from here. Okay. So, Foden, Gordon. Oh no, who would you start? That would probably be the question. Who would you start? Zabani and Doughty. Those are my options. All right. So yeah, let me know who you would start. No lag this time, so it was probably just a lag spike that I had last time out. Start Douglas Luiz or Zabani? I'd start Douglas Luiz. Yeah, I'd start Douglas Luiz and sell him next week there, so fair. Yeah, okay. Foden is benched. Yeah, there's still a little while left. We've got 24 minutes left. Should I bench Foden for Gross? Yeah, I probably would. With Foden being benched, his ceiling will be much lower as a result. Wow, we've got a lot of questions coming in. I do appreciate that. Thank you, John Hamilton, and thank you, Tommy, for the super chat. I've transferred Darwin in, mate. As a United fan, I'm not too happy doing it. With Foden being on the bench, I can put Bowen in and have Son as my captain. I like that Son captaincy, and Darwin has a good record against Manchester United. But yeah, I do wish you the best there, Tommy, and hopefully Man United do get a result. But that's too much to ask for, I think. But thank you very much for the super chat. And I have to say, Darwin is a great option for Gameweek 34. I would sell him in Gameweek 35, though. But if you have the wild card, it will be much easier to do that. No, to be honest, I haven't watched WWE in a very long time. Let's see if I can go through the other questions. With Foden not playing, would you play Garnacho or Gabriel? I play Gabriel. Kunal says bench 1. I would bench Ben White. Hey Dylan, starting squad Man City. I could only guess, really, but I'd assume Ortega starts in goal. I also think it will be Akanji, Ruben Diaz, and he said Akanji twice. I think John Stones might get a start, dare I say, just get some minutes into him before the Real Madrid game. And I'd also go for Gvardiol. Rodri, of course, always starts. I'd go for Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva. Erling Haaland up front with Doku. Yeah, Doku, I mean, I'm kind of in two minds about this one. Yeah, and Alvarez. I think Alvarez will start. Alvarez and Doku. It's between him and Grealish, but yes, it's roughly like that. That's my prediction. We'll see what happens. I feel so happy Foden got benched after selling him last week. Yeah, the possibility always existed, and rotation is going to be rife now. Yeah, Foden is benched according to a reliable source. It's all covered. Start Garnacho or Manice. I'd start Manice. Watkins to Haaland, Bailey to Odegaard roll. My preference is Watkins to Haaland in preparation for 33. Ake injury update. We don't know exactly how long he's going to be out for, to be honest, Turgish, but he's going to be out for this week, and he might be out for another week or two, potentially even longer. We just don't know enough yet. That's the question with Gvardiol. I don't know if he's going to play both games in Double Gameweek 37. By that time, you would expect Ake to be back. Welcome, John. Who would you start Nuri over? Horror? Who's that? I'm guessing that's Borro. His points are a horror, that's for sure. I'd start him with a Bradley. That's what I'd do. Greetings to you as well, Trini. A lot of questions coming in. Should I swap Foden to Garnacho then, now, or burn Bradley on my bench? I'd probably swap Foden, yeah. That's absolutely fine. Bradley is another one to consider. Maybe start him instead, but I would bench Foden in your case. Song captain, he's second in my overall list, and if you want to go different, I'd highly recommend him. I think Ortega starts, but Edison is very close to a return. Start Darwin or Gordon. I'd start Darwin. I honestly don't back Gordon that much. He is away from home, but I'm hoping he can do something here. Pau Torres out or roll? I'd roll, but sell him next week. That's what I do. You could also bring in Ait Nuri if you don't have him already, Thomas. But thank you very much for the kind words. Saka or Sarabia? Saka. Foden is bench Sahil. That's why. Morris, Van Dijk, Foden out. Haaland, Ait Nuri, and Sarabia in. -8. Yeah, looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. -8, obviously, I'm not a big fan of. I like Haaland and Ait Nuri a lot. Less keen on Sarabia, though. Foden not starting versus Palace, exactly that. Who would you start? I'd start Branthwaite, Gusto, and a doggy. Zulu puts his team, not sure what to do. Your squad looks pretty decent. Obviously, Foden being benched, it does cause some issues, but you've got Kudus on the bench anyway. I'd start Kudus over Foden and roll the transfer, but in the coming weeks, I'd sell Region and Estupinian, buy Ait Nuri, and if possible, Virgil van Dijk. But it all depends on your Gameweek 34 strategy. You've got 2 free transfers right now, to be fair. Yeah, I'd buy Ait Nuri right now and start him over Bradley. Start Nunez or Tony. I'd start Darwin. Yes, I am back. Have 2 free transfers, don't want to burn. Best defender, 4.2 for the Lascelles. Branthwaite, I think, does fit the bill. So if he is 4.2 million, I'd go for Branthwaite. And also downgrade Saka to Odegaard, Havertz, Stefan, Gavardio, 8 Nuri. Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of selling Saka. So we're hearing Foden out. Yeah, not any other news for City right now. Foden not starting and Saka not with the squad. Where did you see that about Saka, by the way? Be sure to let me know about Saka. I saw someone mention that Saka's in the squad. Yeah, KDB does start, by the way. That's confirmed right now by FPL Tony. I'll try to get that up on screen. So let's go to this now. Yeah, so KDB starts and Foden is on the bench. Meanwhile, I'm going to be checking on Saka and see if there's any confirmation of him being out. If you have the link, by the way, try to put in the live chat. It does help out a lot, so I can save a bit of time. Go back to your questions. We've got over 130 people watching. Thank you very much for those that have tuned into the new deadline stream since the first one did cut out. Try to get this stream to 100 likes. It'd be massively appreciated. And we'll go back to your questions. How is it with Gordon Yellow? Not sure what you mean by that. Watkins to Haaland, Bailey to Odegaard, I've covered. Harsh lesson learned. FPL challenge. No matter the challenge, do not go without Palmer. Yeah, I had him all week and then sold him towards the very end for Luis Diaz, so I lost out on 14 points. Saka will play. I thought he would, and that was my personal opinion all week, but I'm going to wait and see for confirmation first. Thank you, Zulu. Bring in Isak or Darwin. Isak is my preference, but it all depends on your Gameweek 34 strategy. If you are free hitting in 34, go for Isak. If you aren't free hitting, go for Darwin. Who to transfer Foden out for? I wouldn't transfer out Foden, to be honest, but you could go for Luis Diaz. I like Eze and Elise for Gameweek 34, but I wouldn't transfer them just yet. I think Odegaard's another one to really look at. Start Barkley or Foden? I'd probably just go for Barkley now. Alvarez is a fair. I'm not sure, but I would expect him to start. Wasif says, what are your thoughts on Fantasy Challenge this week? I have showed my team in the previous stream, and I'll probably show it very soon. But yeah, I've gone for Salah, Diaz, Garnacho, Darwin Nunez, and Virgil van Dijk, I believe. Watkins playing? I'm not so sure. Why is the deadline an hour early? Not sure what you're on about there. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're on about. The deadline is at 11 a.m. UK time, 12 p.m. in Spain, which is where I'm at. But yeah, there's no early deadline. Bench Darwin, play Gordon, Manise, and Solanke. I'd start Darwin over Gordon. Sell Saka, I'd keep Saka, especially if you aren't free hitting in 34. Start Foden or Rice. Probably Rice at this point. Twisted Parkeeper's team, what would you change? Who would you change for Lascelles that plays 37? I would probably go for Dallo, but he's an easy bench this week. Play Branthwaite or Virgil van Dijk? I'd play Branthwaite. Bench Foden for Watkins? Yes. -4 for Foden to Bowen? No, I wouldn't buy Bowen for a hit. Replacements for Richarlison, free hit 34, bench boost 37, 2 free transfers, Salah, Son, Palmer, Garnacho, Richarlison. I would go for... I mean, Saka's a bit awkward to buy now, but I do like him for 34. I'd also look at Diaz and Odegaard. I'd buy one of those two in your situation. Yeah, they are reliable, Moosin. Play Gabriel or Branthwaite. I'd play Branthwaite. Once again, Enrique, I'd play Branthwaite. Karan says, hey Dylan, I have a doubt. Can you please solve it? If I have 2 free transfers in 33 and I use 1, then 3 in 34, how many will I have in 35? No matter what you do, you always have 1 free transfer after playing the free hit or wildcard. So the answer is 1. Yeah, Mohsen already covered the news of Lazy FPL. Need to bench 2 of Odogi, Bradley and Gavardio, and 1 of Gordon, Saka and Manise. Tough. I'd bench Bradley and Odogi, and I'd also bench Gordon. I think the attacking one's quite simple. I'd bench Gordon there. Not really too keen on him this week. Watkins start or bench? If I had to ask me, I'm guessing he starts, but yeah, I couldn't tell you for sure. Waising, I did cover your question there. Time change for you, Kiwi? Yeah, maybe. I mean, there was for the UK and Spain last week. Who was leaking the City news? It's Lazy FPL. Well, maybe they don't have access to all the information, just a certain player that's relevant in FPL. It's daylight savings, so I'm an hour early. Yeah, no worries. Bench Saka or Watkins? I would bench Watkins. How many yellow cards for Gordon to be suspended? 2 more. He's on 8 yellow cards. If he gets 2 yellow cards by the time we get to Gameweek 33, then he'll be suspended for 2 games. My bad. Unreliable source about Saka not with the squad. Not sure about him. Yeah. Always be careful with the news, of course. I saw someone else earlier say that Saka is with the squad. I personally think he will start, but you just never know. Bench Douglas Luiz or Saka? Tough one, but I'd bench Douglas Luiz. Best midfield under 7.3 million that doubles in 37. I like Garnacho for that double. I'd also say Pascal Gross would be another one to think about. So yeah, those two. Richarlison by that stage could be a regular starter. Play Van Dijk or Zabani. Probably Van Dijk still. Areola and Estupinian to Flecken, Pickford and Uri. 2 free transfers here. Yeah, that's perfect. I'd go for Pickford, especially if you aren't free hitting in 34. I think that's the way to go. Start Bradley or Doughty. I'd start Bradley. Thank you very much, Karen, and I appreciate the kind words. Let's get the stream to 100 likes. We're 55 away. Of course, we did have 100 in the previous stream, but it did cut out when I tried to make a poll, which sounds ridiculous when I say out loud. So let's now go to my team, my regular FPL team. So I've currently got Areola in goal, but most likely the Dubravka will be subbed on for him. I've got Pedro Porro, Van Dijk, and Saliba as my back three. Anthony Gordon has come in for Phil Foden with the news that Foden is benched. Palmer's my captain, Salah's my vice, and Saka completes the midfield with Haaland, Solanke, and Maniz up front. And my bench includes Dubravka, Foden, Zabani, and Doughty, but Dubravka will come in for Alphonso Areola. Let's go now through the super chat by Haribo. Thank you very much for that. It's genuinely appreciated. Thinking of a 1-week differential punt of Tavernier to Johnson to make up rank in the mini league before getting Eze next week. Any advice, thoughts? I'd be more keen on buying Eze in Gameweek 34, but I do like that transfer. Just the timing of it is a bit awkward to get him in now or in Gameweek 33. As for Johnson, playing against his former club, he's in good form. He's a slight rotation risk, but if he starts, that could be a great punt. I'm not going to lie, though. If I had to think of another midfielder punt for this week only, I'm going to try and give you one, see if I can come up with something interesting. Which I probably won't, to be honest. I do like Douglas Luiz and Bailey this week against Brentford. I do. I think one of those two could be a nice punt. Apart from that, around the price you're talking about, I'm not sure exactly what budget you have there, Haribo, because if you could stretch to an Odegaard, that'd be great. But yeah, I think Brendan Johnson's a good shout. It really is. I think that's a nice differential. And apart from that, I'd probably be looking at... It's a very difficult one. Maybe Sarabia. I think that's kind of what I'd be looking at. So let me know what you end up going for. Burn transfer or sell Gabriel? Burn transfer. I wouldn't sell him. Newcastle have a double in Gameweek 37. Isak or Darwin? Isak is better, but if you aren't free hitting in 34, I'd go for Darwin. If you are free hitting, just go for Isak. Double Arsenal defense or mix with Gusto? I'd mix with Gusto. Saliba or Zabani? Saliba. Looking to wildcard for double game weeks. Who should I bring in for this week? Darwin or Isak? Oh, okay, so you're wildcarding for the double game weeks. So if you're wildcarding in 34 anyway, I'd just rather go for Isak, to be honest. Yeah. Apparently Stone starts. Think Cavaldi was safe to start. Yeah. I think he was in my predicted lineup, by the way, when someone asked me about it. So thank you for that. FPL Tony, yep, says that John Stone starts. I just see it now. Thank you for the link as well. That's much appreciated. Sell Emi Martinez for Raya or Pickford or Roll. I'd sell him to Raya if possible. Play 2. Doughty, Pau, Zabani or Taylor. I'd play Pau Torres and probably Doughty or... I've currently got Zabani over Doughty, but I might change that in the end anyway. I think Doughty just has the better attacking threat. I think both teams concede. You probably want to go for Doughty. Any City team news? Yes. John Stone starts. Phil Foden's on the bench. And Kevin De Bruyne starts. Start Virgil or Doughty. I'd go for Van Dijk. Start Cunha or Foden this week, says Richard. Do you think Foden gets any minutes off the bench or a complete rest like Haaland and KDB midweek? Guardiola tends to leave players on the bench and he tends to just go the starting 11, not make many subs. I think he won't play any minutes, actually, if you're asking me right now. And I'd start Cunha. The doggy, Gusto, Branthwaite, choose one to be benched. The doggy. Foden to Odegaard, advice, please. Yeah, look, I like Odegaard a lot. He was one of my tips for a differential for the next couple of weeks, but yeah, I still don't like selling Foden ahead of Luton Town and Brighton and great fixtures to round off the season, but it might make sense for you. Thank you very much, Courage. I think 100 likes is going to be the aim here. Is Stupinian for Nuri? Yes, no doubts about that whatsoever. Start Semenyo or Foden? Semenyo. I'd rather play Gross instead of Foden or switch Gross to someone else for a hit. Yeah, I mean, unless you can buy a player that doubles in 34, like a Diaz, Odegaard, I'd probably just play Gross for now. Yeah, Stones is playing. Aditya says bench 2. Gabriel, Doughty, Borro, Garnacho, Minis, Bradley. I'd bench Doughty and probably one of Garnacho or Bradley. I'd probably bench Bradley in that case. Sell 1, Robinson, Murillo, Tony, Doughty. I would sell Murillo. To be honest, they're all sells in my opinion. Neto or Raya? Raya. Bench 2, yeah, we covered. Semenyo or Saka to start. I'd go for Saka. John Stones, yep, he does start Ruben. Haaland and Sarabia in for Foden and 8 Nuri -4. Yeah. Wait, sorry, what? You're selling 8 Nuri? No, no, don't do that. Bradley or Zabani already have Kala and goal. I still go for Bradley. Play Darwin or Sarabia. I would play probably Darwin. Dubravka or Ortega? Ortega. Gusto or Porro? Gusto. Play Maniz or Madison? Maniz. That question's been spammed. Lorcan says Foden sack out for Salah. I would rather sell Foden, but it all depends on if you're free hitting or not in 34, because if you are free hitting, then Saka might be the one to sell instead. But with Foden being benched right now, it might be a good opportunity for you to do so. Just bear in mind that Foden plays Luton Town next week. Bench 1, Chris Wood, Douglas Luiz, Saka. I would bench Chris Wood. Bench Gabriel or Bradley? I would bench Bradley. Have Foden on wildcard, sell for Diaz, Rodri or Bowen? Yeah, it would be Diaz. Best goalkeeper to buy now until wildcard in the double game weeks? Raya. My favorite is Raya up until game week 35, then you wildcard him out. Bench 1, Foden, Saka, Garnacho. I'd bench Garnacho. Welcome, Irish BVB. Small question, Dylan. Thinking of doing a doggy plus Lascelles to Gavadio and Van der Ven. Sound okay? I'm free hitting phase 4 and bench boosting phase 7. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. I like Gavadio. Just bear in mind that for Gimmick phase 7, Ake could be back by then and Gavadio might be benched from time to time. But for now, it looks good. People are saying Saka not starting, got trolled on Twitter. Fair enough. Bro, start Neto or Pickford? Pickford. Do I play Saliba or Gabriel or play Bradley? I'd play Saliba and Gabriel. I think Garnacho could haul. Yeah, you could. I'm just not that keen on Man United assets in general, especially against Liverpool. Petrovic or Raya have Gusto this game week. I'd probably go for Raya, actually. Bench 1, Bradley, Nunez, Gabriel. I would bench Bradley. Grealish starts, says Christian. There we go. Okay. Thank you very much. So FPL Tony has been giving a lot of leaks here. Is Watkins available? I honestly don't know. I think he'll start, and I'm very convinced he will play against Arsenal by game week 33. But yeah, for this week, it's 50-50, and I think he starts. Rico Lewis, Maguire, or Hall? Rico Lewis, but I'm not sure if he starts. Bench Douglas Luiz or Saka? I'd bench Douglas Luiz. Kelleher or Neto? I'd play Kelleher this week. Zabani or Aït-Nouri? Definitely Aït-Nouri. M. Gassami says, bench 1 of Saka, Douglas Luiz, Chris Wood, and Maniz. Chris Wood. Tommy Raw says, play Garnacho, Burn, or Bradley. I'd play Garnacho. Captain Son, if you're looking for a differential, I'd go for it. He's second in my list for the best captaincy options. I wish I had him. Start Foden or Morris. I'd go for Morris. Twisted Parkio 6 says, only got 5.1 million. What defender would you go for? 37. A City one or someone else? Probably Gavadio, but as I mentioned earlier, he might become a rotation risk by game week 37. Bench boost plans. I covered this in a lot of recent videos and streams, but yeah, I mean, it's quite simple for me. I'm going to wildcard in phase 5. A lot could change from now until game week 5. So closer to that deadline, I'll talk about my thorough plans there. I've already got a rough one, but a lot could change from now until that point because, for example, Gvardiol might become a rotation risk by Gameweek Phase 7, so I'd rather talk about it closer to that deadline. Van Dijk or Kilman? Van Dijk. Foden starts, he's on the bench. Are Ortega and Akanji starting today? I believe so, but it's not confirmed. The only players we know that start are John Stones, Grealish, and Kevin De Bruyne. Bench order, Foden, Doughty, Bradley. I put Bradley ahead of Doughty. Most of them have covered that question before. Branthwaite or Doggy? I'd go for Branthwaite, Arthur. Arnav says start Sabani or Semenyo. I'd go for Semenyo. Rajat says Dylan, captain dilemma. I'm going for Palmer myself, but if you want to go different, I'd highly recommend Heung-min Son. Keep or sell Wobie? Sell. Start Garnacho or Foden? Garnacho. Philip says start Nuri or Branthwaite. Very close. I'd probably go for Nuri just for the attacking threat, but start both if possible. Kelleher or Ortega? Ortega. Start Gusto or Zabani? Gusto. Start Zabani or Bradley? Bradley. Does Watkins start? 50-50, I believe he will start. Start Gabriel or Udogie? Gabriel. Pick 3, says Mohammed. I'd pick 8 Nuri, Gusto and Saliba and bench Robinson. Bench Doughty or Mateta? I would bench Mateta. Captain 1, I'm going for Palmer. Bench order, like I mentioned before, Aditya, I'd put Bradley ahead of Doughty. It's completely up to you. Watkins start, 50-50. I think he starts. Player 1 of Burn, Van de Ven or Gusto, starting Petrovic. I'd still play Gusto. Durgish says 2 free transfers, bench boost 37, free of 34. By the way, we have 3 minutes left for the deadline. Be sure to lock in your teams. One of Solar Souls and one more, Saka maybe. Don't know how much money you have in the bank, but I would look to sell the cells to 8 Nuri if possible. If not, you could go for a Branthwaite in preparation for Double Gameweek 34, but you are free hitting in 34 anyway, so not really too relevant. The thing is, for this week, you've got Gusto, Gabriel, or Doggy, you're fine. You don't need to make a defender transfer this week, but you don't want to burn the transfer, which I do understand. In that case, I think I'd sell Lascelles to either Gvardiol or 8 Nuri. Hi, mate. Dawson or Branthwaite for Gameweek 34? Branthwaite. Is Haaland good for captaincy? Yes, he is. Start Manice or 8 Nuri? Manice. Start Morris or Bailey? I would start Bailey. Yeah, we are getting a lot of repeat questions. We have gone for it. Flicking the captaincy between Salah and Palmer. If I see Haaland starts, I'm a captain him. Good luck, Goldhead. I think Haaland will start, by the way, but maybe it's not worth taking my word for it. Start Darwin or Foden? Darwin. Captain, vice-captain. For me, Palmer's my captain, and I'd put Son as the vice. But if you want to go different, I think Son's a very good option this week. Watkins start or Garnacho? I'd go for Watkins, but that's because I personally think he starts. It's not absolutely set in stone. Who is the safest City defender right now? Gvardiol, but by the time we get to Gameweek Phase 7, it could be different. Doughty or Zabani start? I mean, I've got Zabani ahead in the pecking order, so you could just follow that. I don't really expect any of them to do well. Alvarez starts. Is Haaland benched? I still think both of them could play, to be honest. But yeah, it looks like we've got more confirmation there. Thank you to Ruben and everyone else for the updates. Alvarez starts, according to FPL Tony. Yeah, Foden is benched. We covered that in the last stream. Bench Zabani or Mateta? I'd bench Mateta. Haaland captain locked. Good luck. Can I go for Haaland captain? Of course you can. And it's a bit different this week in terms of engaged managers. But in terms of overall FPL managers, he'll still be captained by millions, in my opinion, because there's a lot of dead teams out there. Start Gabriel, Burn, or Pau Torres this week. I'd probably start Gabriel, but Pau's decent. I'd go for Gabriel, though. Yeah, I think so, because he's on the bench. You know, he's benched. It makes sense to bench him. I've got Gordon in there. Yeah, I think if your starts... Aspin, I did cover that. Zabani or Bradley? I'd go for Bradley. Tony or Morris or Watkins bench? I would bench... You know what? I'd probably bench Tony. Either way, you might even have him come off the bench with Watkins missing out, if that happens. Foden out, Diaz in. I wouldn't do that just yet. Maybe in Gameweek 34, though. Haaland starts according to FPL Tony. Thank you, Jazabi and Ruben, for the updates. Sahil puts his team. Yeah, we are locked in now. That is the end of the deadline. Thank you to those that tuned in, especially with the hiccup we had in the first stream, which I think was caused by me opening up another browser and trying to do a poll. I'll not do that again. I know that for the future. I know it might be a lot to ask for, but be sure to smash the like button and get this to 100 likes. We're 29 away for this new stream. It'd be much appreciated. It goes a long way to helping out the channel. And thank you to those that send in super chats. It goes, well, it's really much appreciated as always. Should I sell Foden due to poor bench? Well, the deadline's gone now, but I wouldn't have sold Foden in most cases. Bench order. Yeah, Garnacho first, Bradley second for me. Good luck to you as well, Alex, and to Genius Gamer and Punjabi. I have Gabriel, 8 Nuri, Bradley, Dallo, Bradley in defense. What should I do next week for Gameweek Phase 4 and Phase 5 plan? I don't know what your 5th defender is because you said Bradley twice. But yeah, I don't know if you have the free or not in Gameweek Phase 4. So all of that does help a lot in terms of giving you a definitive answer there. It's not really a tool. It's just a Chrome extension. Just type in FPL away kits and you'll find it. Yeah, I'll go through score predictions very quickly, but I do have to go. The plan is to record the UCL fantasy videos straight after this, and then I'll be enjoying the beach. Damn, deadline closed. I tried to start Keller over Leno. It's not too shabby, though. I think both of them concede. All the best for the game week. Likewise, Pema, sorry. So yeah, we are 23 lakhs away from 100. Be sure to keep on plugging away. And I'm now going to go through my predictions. So Crystal Palace, Man City. I'm going for 2-0 Manchester City. I'd also go for a 2-1 Aston Villa. Everton, Burnley. I'm actually going to go for a 1-0. 1-0 Everton. Fulham, Newcastle. I'm going to go for 3-1 Fulham. Luton Town, Bournemouth. I'm going to go for a 2-2. Wolves versus West Ham. 1-1. Brighton versus Arsenal. I think a draw is possible here, and I hope it's not the case, but I'm going to back Arsenal. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Arsenal. Manchester United against Liverpool. 2-1 Liverpool. Sheffield United against Chelsea. Probably 3-1 Chelsea. 3-1? 2-1 Chelsea. And Spurs versus Forest. 3-2 Tottenham. That's my predictions at the moment. Let me know your thoughts and also join the Discord server and leave your comments there. By the way, just for those that aren't aware yet, these are the fixtures. I've just read all of my predictions out. Let me know what you think, but that's kind of what I'm going for. Thank you to those for tuning in today. It's been a pleasure talking to all of you. We have gone through a lot across both streams today. And my final team is locked in. Based on that Foden benching news, I have benched him. And in terms of the poll that I put out earlier, yeah, Gordon was the one that most of you went for, 44% of the vote. Foden is second with 30%, and then Zabani with 17%, and Doughty with 9%. Keep plugging away the likes, and also put more comments in if you want something answered. So yeah, now Twister Parky says, I got a Kanji, but did not get time to get him into the lineup. Defense is Gabriel, Doggy, Gusto, Bodro. To be fair, though, that defense is fine. Just have to hope that Spurs finally keep a clean sheet. Good luck for this game, Mick. I wanted to go for Son captain, but it was impossible to go against Parma this week. Oh, well, good luck to you as well. Do you think Arsenal win this time? I still think City are the favourites. I know people are saying Liverpool right now, and they've got the best fixtures, but it's just my personal opinion. I think Liverpool are the worst of the 3 title contenders. That's just my personal opinion, but they find a way to get things done. And they've got a lot of quality. McAllister is one of the best midfielders in the league. Salah is obviously Salah. Jurgen Klopp is a great manager. The second best in the Premier League. So, yeah, they have a great chance. But, yeah, I still think City are the favourites. Thank you, Richard. Yeah, I will enjoy the beach. I did all day yesterday, but I probably will record the UCL fantasy videos just to get it done. I'll edit them later. And then, of course, I'll try to do the deadline stream on Tuesday. But that's going to be very difficult. When should I sell Zabani and bring Gusto? Gameweek 35. Alan hat-trick loading. Hopefully not. Good luck, Dylan Love from Nepal. Thank you very much, Awali. I forgot to move Saka to the bench and start Diaz. I would have started Saka anyway. Man City will win against Palace. I think so, but I don't think it'll be high scoring. What about FPL Challenge? You calling quits? I'm still playing it. I got 96 points last week, which is decent. Oh yeah, I actually closed the other tab. Let's go for it now very quickly. Oh wow, it's now... Wait, let me go to FPL Challenge, you bumbuckler. Yeah, here you go. This is my team. As I highlighted in the other stream, So I've currently got Pickford in goal with Ortega as my backup goalkeeper. I might make some changes, obviously. I'm not a big fan of a doggy, even Conor Bradley, but it does allow me to go for Haaland, who I'm really back this week. And of course, the challenge this week is every United and Liverpool player scored double the number of points. So the plan will be to captain Salah eventually. I've currently got Palmer as the captain just because of the way the loopholes work. And, you want to captain a player that plays at the very end, like Cole Palmer does. So if Salah does really well, I can then switch Cole Palmer out to, you know what, actually, instead of, that wouldn't be a good idea. I'd actually rather captain Gusto because I don't want to sell Palmer in order to get that captaincy done. So yeah, that's something I could do. If you have any questions, let me know, but I can explain it in a better way. But yeah, there are loopholes to basically maximize your squad. United UCL spot and Spurs bottle it or nah? I don't see it, to be honest. I think Spurs are a better team than Man United, and Spurs have a really tough schedule soon against Newcastle, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, and also Man City a couple of weeks after, but I think they could get 1 or 2 results from those games. I'm stuck with Palmer captain, even after people saying the defensive stats are worse for United than Sheffield United. Yeah, but Sheffield United have conceded 15 goals in 5 games, and I think Liverpool, Man United could be, it's going to be hectic like a few weeks ago, but I think it'll be low scoring. I don't think it'll be 4-3 again. Mr. Parky puts 2-0 City, 1-1 Villa, 1-1 Everton, 2-1 Fulham, 3-2 Bournemouth, 2-1 Wolves. Fair enough. I think City got the easiest fixtures. I agree. Then Liverpool, the second easiest, and Arsenal have the toughest. Spurs is the key for who will win this season. Yeah, and, well, Aston Villa obviously just played Man City, but they also are yet to play Liverpool and Arsenal. So they have a say. Another team is Brighton, actually, isn't it? No, actually, they just played Liverpool. But yeah, you're right. Spurs are the only team left, I think, who play all 3 of the title contenders. Liverpool versus Man United score prediction. 2-1 Liverpool, as I mentioned earlier. And I said this for the FA Cup game as well. 2-1 Arsenal, says Twisted Parky. 2-1 Liverpool, 3-1 Chelsea, 3-0 Spurs. I think Forest will score, but from an FPL perspective, it would be nice if that wasn't the case. Do you think Ten Hag will be sacked? I think in the summer he will, because of the new owners or the new investment, a new direction. And if they don't make top 4 and they don't win the FA Cup, yeah, it just makes sense. But I think maybe an FA Cup could paper over the cracks and he stays a little bit longer. I captain Haaland. Let's see what a League 2 player can do. Fair enough. Thank you very much, John. I appreciate the kind words. Aditya says, I don't understand the FPL challenge rules. I don't think you can change captaincy once the player's played. Well, that's the point. That's why I'm going for Gusto captain. Chelsea's game takes place after Liverpool. So Chelsea play at 6:30. Well, it would be 5:30 for you, UK time, whilst Liverpool play on 4:30. So if Salah does well, I can then transfer out Gusto to a red flag player who's not going to play. He'll then be taken off from my starting 11. One of my players on the bench will come on as an auto sub, and the captaincy will change to Salah. That's the way it works, and that's why I've got Haaland, Ortega, and Gavardi on the bench. Even Ait Nouri, they all play early. If I see that they haul, I can then take out some players in my starting 11, like a doggy, in order to make those transfers, those substitutions to come in. So hopefully you understand that. But yeah, that's the way FPL Challenge works. If you have any more questions, leave it in the comment section. Drop a like on this stream. Let's get this to 100 before we wrap up. It's been a pleasure talking to all of you, as always. And if you haven't already, smash the like button, subscribe for new, and keep your eyes peeled for more UCL Fantasy and FPL content. The plan is to do a deadline stream for UCL Fantasy on Tuesday at the usual time. I'll keep you updated on that. And maybe straight after this stream, I'm going to be recording the best wildcard team for Matchday 9 and the team selection to have all of that done. And that'll be uploaded on Sunday and Monday in preparation for Matchday 9. And for FPL, I believe I'll record FPL content from Wednesday onwards. So there might not be any more FPL content for a little while since I'm on holiday. But once I'm back, the plan is to do the best wildcard team selection, and potentially transfer tips if people want to see that. And of course, deadline streams will obviously commence as usual, and the reaction streams will be back once I'm in London once again. So thank you to those that tuned in today. Massively appreciated. Was it the right decision to start Bradley over Van Dijk? I would have probably gone for Van Dijk, but Bradley has slightly more attacking potential. It could be anyone, Aditya. It could be any red flag player. It could be... Now, Mark, actually, let me just make that clear. It has to be a red flag player that hasn't played yet, that isn't locked in. Thank you very much, Trini. Is panic buying a Kanji a mistake for 37? I wouldn't say so. Akanji tends to start most games, but yeah, I mean, we just don't know by Game Week 37 which Man City player, and especially defender, will start both games. Doku starts, I'm not sure, but Grealish is. Grealish, KDB, and John Stones are all starting. Same with Alvarez and Erling Haaland. Thank you to Stepaki. Aditya, like I just mentioned, it could be anybody, a red flag player or someone that doesn't start at all, that isn't going to get any minutes. It could be a youth player from Chelsea or Sheffield United. It could be Baldock, for example, from Malo Gusto. It doesn't have to be a specific player. It could just be someone who hasn't played yet, that isn't locked in. It's very simple. Thank you very much, Alex. Hopefully you have a good day as well. Elliot says, I benched Garnacho, but I had to start Onana as already was confirmed out. That's fair enough. Onana could still get plenty of saves and gets you some points in the process. I'll see you all very soon for more FPL and UCL fantasy content. Drop a like on your way out, and good luck for Game Week 32 and the rest of the season. And I'll see you next time.